Da da da, let's go for a walk. Well, hey there, everyone. It's Anthony, back with another video here on Single and Placing. Hi. Hope you're having a fantastic day, weekday, weekend, week, month, evening, morning, overnight, all of that good stuff. Today, we're just doing a little weekly check-in. I hope everyone's doing well. And make sure to leave in the comments how you're doing. Apollo and I are actually on a mission today, and I figured I'd bring you along. I have to turn in my ballot, and I figured I'd just walk it over there since it's just downtown. So you're coming with me to vote. Yay! Make sure you're doing the same. Yeah, we just got our ballots in the mail, and I immediately was like, okay, give me the two booklets that were sent earlier or late last month. Let me sit down. So I sat down and read through everything and made my selections. So we're doing it. But yeah, we're just palling around. Today's Saturday, by the way. The 14th? 13th? 14th? One of those. 12th. It's the 12th. So yeah, we're out here. I wasn't expecting the ballots to get here so quickly. They said on the news that they would be, I thought they said they were sending them all out on the 18th. I think what it said was they're sending them all out by the 18th. So I was kind of surprised to get it today. I was like, woohoo, let's go vote. Up. Good boy, this way. Come on, Sniffy, we're on a mission today. So yeah. Up. Good boy. Good boy. Oh my gosh, that scared me. Do we have a potty break? Sorry, there's teens yelling. Yelling teens. But yeah, so I was excited that I got it filled out right away, and we're gonna take it downtown. But yeah, other than that, this has been a pretty quiet weekend. I had yesterday off work, and so me and Apollo just bopped around and hung out, did some chores. I went and took him to get a bath, so he might look extra white and sparkly today. So he went and got a bath and got a little blowout because he's letting go of his spring and summer coat. So he is shedding like a monster. And usually the bath helps get it out, and it definitely did. But even when we got home, I had to take him out to the front and brush him through and just kind of rub him to get as much loose hair off as I can. But I was out there for like 15 minutes doing it, and there was still a bunch of hair coming off of him. I'm like, okay, this is a losing battle. I know that. Why am I getting frustrated? Because I'm like, how much hair do you possibly have? Hold on, we got a potty break. 1 second. Let's go take this to the trash, then we'll keep on our journey. So yeah, I went and took him for a bath and edited and uploaded and posted my responding to your comments video, and then I edited and put together my my kickoff video, or not kickoff, sorry, announcement video for Mooka Mania. That was a lot of fun to put together. I hope everyone likes that. But yeah, I haven't decided if we're gonna do regular videos or go live. But I'm leaning towards live streaming twice a month. But we'll see. Hold on. Now we're gonna have to backtrack a little bit, but that's okay. Come on, bud. So yeah, I got that posted. Can we go? Come on. Come on, we have to make some time today. It's not leisure. This isn't leisure. This is utilitarian. Let's go.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. So yeah, that was yesterday. A lot of video editing and stuff, and I'm working on another project. We'll see if it happens. I won't talk too much about it. Working on something else, and then, but yeah, going back to Mucomania, I think just for the purposes of like time and my schedule and my how much energy I want to give to it, I think I'm just gonna go live for Mucomania once every other week, as opposed to trying to put together like a researched, like I did with Summer with the Masters and Question of Reality. Just go live and just chit chat with everyone and just connect. And it just seems, in this instance, it seems like it'll be the path of least resistance, because I'm not feeling super motivated to do a ton of Muka research and stuff. I'll definitely have topics to bring up and little factoids and stuff to bring up during the live, but to do like a fully like scripted this and that, I'm not feeling super motivated for it. So yeah, well, I think live stream will just be nice, little hour once every other week. I don't know times or anything, but I will lock that down between now and the end of the month, and I'll pre-schedule them all for the entire 2 months, so you know exactly what day and what time it'll be happening, and it'll all be there. I can pre-schedule them on YouTube, so you'll see the thumbnail, Mucomania Live, coming up on this date, and then you can set your notifications and reminders, and all that good stuff. I don't know what days. It'll most likely be Fridays, because I have every other Friday off. So I just need to look at the calendar and make sure that that's not going to cross paths with any like family plans and stuff, because we have both Thanksgiving and Christmas to think about during those 2 months. So I just want to make sure I'm not doing something wonky with days off and stuff if I'm supposed to be somewhere else. So, but yeah. So that's the general gist of it. Today, I went and got brunch just by my lonesome, and then I went fertilizer soil shopping for the new houseplants. So I went and did that. Hold on. So yeah, I went to this place called, I forget it's like Mile High Grow, or it's got something like that. It's a hydroponics store. It has something to do with like Mile High Growing, or I don't know. Anyway, I went to this hydroponics store because I wanted to get the slow release fertilizer from Fox Farm, and they said that they had it in stock. So I went there first. And it was interesting. The guy there was like really, really cool and whatever, man, like, I don't know. And I was kind of browsing. It's just like kind of an industrial style store. I was just kind of browsing, and then he ended up talking to me about my banana tree, and he's like, oh, I've never tried to grow one of those, but I have tried lemon trees in the past indoors, and I just can't ever get them to fruit or anything like that. And I was like, yeah, apparently like it's really hard to do fruiting trees inside. He's like, well, if you have success with your banana plant and it sprouts a pup or a little seedling or whatever, I wouldn't mind taking one off of you to give it a shot. And I was like, oh yeah, cool. Keep in mind, this is like the first time I met this guy. He like was very friendly right out of the gate, which I guess I appreciate. But I thought I had my headphones on. I was like, I'm just gonna get in, get out. And I ended up having this whole long conversation about like, he's like, well, with plants like that, since they're so used to outdoors, you're gonna want fresh air coming in and out. So at least like, even in the winter, crack a window open for 5-10 minutes when you're home, just to get some fresh air in there. They'll really like it. And he's giving me all these tips, and I showed him the grow lights that I got, and he's like, oh yeah, those are like super underpowered, which I would assume so. They were $10 on Amazon. And he's like, yeah, you're probably going to want to upgrade. And like, he's trying to talk to me about like all these like industrial grow lights and stuff. And I'm just like, I'm taking it one step at a time. If I notice that the tree isn't growing fast enough, or the plant's growing fast enough, or it's having any issues, then maybe I'll upgrade the lights. But the stuff that they had at that place was like, yeah, I'm not spending hundreds of dollars for a light setup. And keep in mind, this is in my dining room, so I don't have like a specialized room, you know. I just need small little clip-on grow lights that are small but mighty, essentially. Space is of a concern. So I may just upgrade them eventually off of Amazon, or just get some additional one of the clip ones. We'll see. But I did get a new shelving. So I got this 3-tiered kind of shelving unit off of Amazon. It was pretty cheap. And I really like it because it's all modular. It's kind of like Lincoln Logs with like little connectors, and you just build as many shelves, and they have a specific shape or style you're supposed to build them into, but you can kind of do what you want. So I ended up getting a second one that's a corner one. So it's like a pyramid that comes down. It's about 3 feet tall, and it has like a top tier, second tier, third tier with shelves in between. So you can fit like, I think 9 plants on it. But I think I'm going to put that up and then use the one that I already bought to create kind of a makeshift kind of trellis that comes up the back. And then some of the vining plants, I have the Hoya, and even like the pothos and stuff kind of like to creep and vine. Give them like a little back trellis to kind of climb up and grow on and attach to. So I think and then that'll be my setup. I'll get enough plants to fill that, and then that's it. So I went there, got my slow release fertilizer, but they didn't have any of the soils that I wanted. And so I ended up going to one of our local nurseries. That's like one of the nicer ones around here. It's called Ector's. And so I went there and just was listening to a podcast and just browsing up and down. I was like, I just want to see what they have, you know. And it's kind of funny because like certain plants that they have are overpriced compared to getting the same plant at like the grocery store or like a Home Depot or something, but they just look a lot better. They look a lot healthier, and they have more variety. But then other plants are much cheaper than you might find online. For instance, they had banana plants there. I did not know that. I should have went and checked. And I think I paid $70 for my banana plant. And it's not technically a tree. The leaves grow up and then fan out, and then another leaf grows from the middle of it and fans out. And as they die, you just cut them back. But they create this like stalk of like old leaves. They kind of create this stalk. So it doesn't really have a trunk with leaves coming off of it. It's all leaves, but towards the base of the leaves, they kind of harden because they have to go all the way up through the old leaf stalks to sprout a new leaf. So it kind of creates this thick, almost like a trunk. I'll insert pictures of all my plants either right now or at the end of the vlog so you can see what I'm talking about. But yeah, they're not technically trees. But anyway, so they had the banana plants there for $29, bigger than the one I have. And I'm like, dang it. But then on the flip side, I got a pothos for like, I think like $12. And they're depending on the size and stuff, they're asking anywhere from $20 to $60 for like a big old pothos. So it just depends. But now I've learned my lesson to go browse there first before I buy online, because I could have gotten 2 banana plants for how much I spent on mine. But it's okay, lesson learned. But they have everything there. One of these days I'll have to bring the camera in there so we can go plant shopping together. That'd be fun. So So I got my soil. I got the, it's called like Ocean Forest soil from Fox Farm, which has like bat guano and earthworm casings and oyster shells and all sorts of nutrient rich things in the soil. And then someone just ran a red light. It also has coconut coir in it, some perlite, some other stuff to help with drainage. And then I also got it's called Coco Loco soil. And that one isn't as nutrient dense. It does have some stuff in it, but it's just more of an aerating soil. So it's good for maybe not quite orchids, but it's good for indoor plants that need high drainage. So I'm going to do a 50-50 blend of those two soils when I repot the banana plant and for future repottings for other plants. I've had really good luck with that ocean forest soil in the past, but I did notice that in some plants it might be a little too dense. So I'm hoping that Coco Loco one will help to create some more aeration. And then I got a new pot for the banana plant. I'm going to let it acclimate in my house for another week or so, and then I'll repot it because it's in far too small of a pot. Like I can see the roots coming out of the top and stuff, like it is packed in there. But I want to let it acclimate to its new environment before I stress it out again. But I got a slightly bigger pot, about 50% larger, and I'll just repot it, slowly. It's a very fast growing plant, so I may end up having to repot it a couple of times throughout the year. But I don't want to put it in too big of a pot because I don't want it to get waterlogged. So small increments, and I just got the most basic of grower pots. I really like those plain pots that you just get from the store that have plenty of drainage holes. So I usually put my plants in those grower pots, just a plain black one, and then I'll put that in like a more decorative pot. I just learned that from doing my plants, like when I initially started doing it, I would pot them directly into the really decorative pot, which seems like a fine idea until you go to repot them. And if it's an odd shape or something, then you're trying to like break your plant out of its pot or cut it out, and you might end up damaging the roots. So I just like a plain plastic, slippery, essentially a sleeve, because that can just come right off. And then I can upscale that, and then you can interchange your pots and change which pot it's in, for decorative purposes and stuff. And it keeps your pots clean too. So that's usually what I do. So I got that pot, I got my 2 bags of soil, and then of course there was a couple plants that called to me. I forget the names of them. Like I said, I'll put the pictures in. But there's this one with these really beautiful dark leaves, but then like the veining throughout the leaves is white. So it's really, really cool. It looks kind of like reverse zebra stripes. And then it blooms these really cool square yellow flowers. I'll have to take a picture of it, but they're square. They're like really cool, funky looking color flower that it sprouts. And apparently it blooms occasionally all year round. Like it's not a seasonal bloomer. It'll just keep putting up those flowers as long as it's happy. And so I was like, that'll be kind of nice, and they're bright yellow. So it's just an interesting little plant, and I think I paid like $17 for it, so it wasn't too expensive. And then there was another one that is in the spider plant family, but it puts out these really interesting looking leaves that have this bright orange at the base of them, and then it fades into a green. And it was just really cool looking, and they said they're easy care plants. You can let them dry completely out before you rewater them. They're kind of no muss, no fuss. They don't mind a little humidity. And so I have them there with the humidifier. And that one was, I think, $9. So I was like, oh, I got a pretty hot deal. I told myself, you can pick out plants and your budget is $20. I went over it by like $6 or $7, but keep in mind, this is the type of greenhouse that it's like, oh, this rare philodendron is $97 and this one's $60. Like they have some pricey, more rare plants there. I just got what looked eye-catching, looked like it would be a fairly sturdy plant as far as care goes, and cheap. Like kind of some of the cheapest ones they had there, other than like the small little starters, you know. So yeah, I had a lot of fun. And when that new stackable set comes in, I think it comes in on Monday, then I'll kind of finalize my little green thumb corner of the dining room, and then I'll have space for probably like another 10 plants if I really wanted to go crazy. But I'm just gonna, you know, casually do some greenhouse shopping from time to time, and if I find a hot deal somewhere, then I'll add it to the collection and try to grow it. Come on, Sniffy, and try to grow it. I'd love to have either in that area or in the kitchen a little area where I could grow some herbs and stuff. That would be really cool, but we'll see. Take it one step at a time. Right now I went from having, what did I say, like 4 or 5 house plants, and I just added another 5 between the banana plant, the other 2 that I got online, a pothos I picked up at Safeway, and then the 2 that I had 5 and now I have 11. So it's like, okay, but one of those, like a couple of those, like one of them is a snake plant, the cylindrical one. That thing doesn't ask me to do anything to it for like months. It's fine, it just doesn't require any effort. And then my cactus in the kitchen doesn't ask for anything. Like sometimes I even forget about it until I'm like, oh, the little cactus tips are starting to look a little kind of pinched or thin, so it's really starving for water. And then I soak it and I'm like, all right, see you in 6 months, you know. It doesn't really need anything. And then I have my whale fin snake plant, and that one usually doesn't need anything from me, but right now it's putting up 2 new pups. I just saw another one come up the other day. I think I might have mentioned it. Has another pup coming up, and it hasn't grown anything new since I bought that plant. I'd say 3 years ago, maybe longer. It hasn't done anything with new growth. I was like, okay, well, I just have these 3 whale fins in here, and that's always how it will be. And then suddenly, about a month ago, it started putting up a new pup, and there's like 4 leaves in that one. And then I was watering it and just kind of looking at it. Was that earlier this week or last week? And I saw just this little piece of green sticking up out of the soil, and I was like, oh, what got in there? And I didn't pull it or anything, but I like kind of moved a little bit of the growing medium it's in or out of the way. I was like, oh, it's another pup. I'm like, holy crap, this thing went from doing nothing for 3 years, and now, because it's just 3 individual whale fin leaves stuck in the ground is what I had, because they had all been transplanted in there. And now I have 1 pup that has 4 leaves, so already double what I bought originally. And now I've got another group of pups coming up. I'm like, this is so cool. Like, I can't wait till they get a little bit bigger and more mature, and I'll try to repot them. Because what people like to do with those whale fin plants is they like to have 1 single leaf, because they're big. They're like big. They look like whale fins. So people kind of use them as statement pieces. It's just this 1 big wide leaf sticking up out of the soil. But mine was in a clump of 3 individual leaves that someone put in 1 big pot and sold it like that. And this was back around COVID times, where people were super into taking care of houseplants, and like the plant market was crazy, and things were like super rare and super expensive. And the whale fin sansevieria was one of those like coveted, you have to get your hands on one of these if you're a true plant person. And I think I paid, at the time, keep in mind, I was crazy. I would not pay this much for a plant anymore, but I was really into collecting plants there for a little bit. I think I paid $160 for 3 individual Sansevieria leaves. Like, it was wild back in the back during COVID times. But you couldn't find, like, sometimes I'd see them online for like $100 for a single one, you know. Now they're much more common. You can get one for, 20, $30. And, the market's kind of changed. But now I have potentially 7 leaves with this new pup, and then the other one, I don't know how many leaves it's going to put up just yet, but we'll see. So I've been keeping a close eye on it. I've been giving it a little bit more water because I know that new pup is probably going to be hungry while it grows. So I've been giving it a little bit more water than I normally do, but it's in a really super well draining medium. It's all just cocoa and like you can put water in it and it just goes right through that soil. So it's very airy. So I've just been hitting it with some water every few days when I used to just water it like once a month. Not a ton. I'm not soaking it. I have a spray bottle, so I just mist it so the top looks a little bit damp, and I know that moisture will kind of translate down further, and just let it go. So yeah, I've been doing that, and yeah, having fun with plants again. It's been a while since I got Apollo. I kind of gave it up, and now I'm like, I think I can handle watering some plants and walking the dog. My life allows for it, I guess. So yeah. But anyway, so did that today. Apollo and I went for a morning walk. And then I had some leftovers for lunch. And that's really about it. Now we're out here. Oh, geez, I almost totally forgot because I'll have clips of this too. So yesterday, one of my friends, Louisa, who I'm sure I've mentioned before, Louisa and Kyle. Louisa is in a band called Heart Shaped Zombie, and they released their EP, their first EP album, back in August, and they did a release party yesterday for that EP. So it was at this really cool art and light gallery. Essentially, it's these 2 artists that do these sculptures made of like plexiglass and use light in interesting ways and do really cool stuff with it. So it was at this gallery, and they converted the inside of the working space into like a performance area, and you can rent out that part of it to do music videos or just little jam sessions or whatever you want, and you've got all this cool artwork all over the place. So they hosted it there, and me and Alex went last night, and it was a freaking blast. We had so much fun. I have clips of it, so I'll play them all for you. But yeah, it was just so much fun. Really, really cool. It was great to go out there and support her. And so we went and did that. And then that was really about it. I came home and played video games for like 30 minutes and then went to bed. But I'll include clips. I took some clips of her performance, and I took photos of a bunch of the pieces of art, so you'll see all that too. I'll just put a whole slideshow thing at the end with plants and art and music, so you can have a peek at that. So did that yesterday, and then tonight, which is why I'm on a time crunch, at 8 o'clock, I'm going to a haunted house with Scott. So we're going to do that. It was supposed to be Scott, Jen, his girlfriend, and I, but she decided to bail in favor of going to this. One of her friends had spare tickets to a concert, so she decided she wanted to do that instead. So Scott came over because he's here in Golden. He lives in like probably about 20 minutes south of here, but he's coming up to see one of his buddies. They're playing at a little bar here in town right now, so he stopped by the house just for a second before he went to that bar, and he was like, "Yeah, Jen bailed. She's going to a concert instead." I'm like, "Oh man!" I was like, "So it's just you and I getting spooked tonight?" And he's like, "Yep." And he's like, "But I do have an extra ticket if you know of anybody else that wants to go now." And so I asked Doug, because Doug was home, and he's like, "No, I don't know." I was like, "Are you scared?" He's like, "No, quite the opposite." He's like, "None of that stuff ever affects me, and I don't want to be a buzzkill by like not being spooked by everything." I was like, "But we need somebody like that, because I am a little scaredy pants, even though I like putting myself through that stress for some reason. I'm a little scaredy pants. No, let's not get in the water today. You just got a bath. I'm sorry." And so is Scott. And so it'll help to balance it out. And he's like, "Oh, I don't know." And I was like, "It's a free ticket. Come on. I'm driving. It'll be fun." So he's like, "I'll think about it. When you get back, I'll let you know." I was like, "Okay." So we'll see if he ends up going or not. I have a feeling he's just going to be up in his room and be like, no, I'm good, thanks." But I did try to persuade him. This way. This way. Okay, this way. No, I know, I'm sorry. He's like trying to pull us towards the water. It's like, "Doesn't that look so nice though, Dad?" It does, and it is a beautiful day out. It's cool. Just a beautiful fall evening. I would love nothing more than to go sit on those rocks and let him splash, but I have an hour to get home and get ready. Yeah, I have about an hour to get home and get ready to go to get spooked. So yeah, but I'm excited. It'll be fun. It's called the Frightmare Compound, and it's the oldest like professional haunted house in the Denver metro area. It opened a long time ago. It's been around since I was a kid, and I've always heard the radio ads for it. Well, not recently, because I don't really listen to the radio anymore, but it was always on all the stations during Halloween time. The Frightmare Compound, blah, 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 blah. Scariest haunted house in Denver, in Colorado, the whole thing. Since I was a kid, and I've never gone. And this year, I was talking to Scott over the summer. I was like, "I really want to do a haunted house this year." He's like, "Let's go." And so we finally picked a date and bought the ticket. So I'm scared, I'm nervous, but it'll be fun. I haven't done a big professional haunted house, like a whole production, since I was in late elementary, early middle school when we went to Disney World. In Orlando, they used to have this crazy looking castle with like a skull on it, and it was like a permanent year-round haunted house. And we went to that when I was a little kid. And I remember really liking it, but also being very scared. So it's been that long since I've done like a legitimate haunted house. So I'm curious to see how it goes this time around. If I'm like, "Nope, let's go, let's leave. I don't want to do this. Can we just leave?" But we'll see. Oh, you know what? This wasn't professional in my opinion, but a few years ago, I went with my ex-boyfriend to a haunted house kind of corn maze thing. And that was, wait, I don't even think it was with him. It was just some guy I was dating. Yeah, it was before my boyfriend. There's just some random guy that I had been on a few dates with, and he wanted to go to a haunted house, but it was just like a rinky-dink, like very low budget situation. So yeah, I guess that was the last one I've been to. But I don't even remember that guy's name. I feel like that was like our second date. Who knows? But anyway, hold on. So yeah, I'm nervous, but excited, but already preemptively scared. We'll see. We'll see where the evening takes us. But yeah, that's pretty much everything. Life-wise. When? The one thing that has been, so I guess let's get into one last content thing. One thing that I keep trying not to forget is the Christmas premiere series that a bunch of diamond painters do every holiday. I've participated the past 2 years, and I'd like to do it again. Last year, I didn't sign up until late because I had turned the notifications off on Facebook Messenger, and so I didn't get the messages when it was like, when the host of it was like, hey, we're doing it again. I didn't see any of those messages, and then in December at some point I was like, what about Christmas premieres? I didn't even get asked to do it again this year. And then I go to Facebook and I'm like, oh, there's been this whole conversation where the people from the previous year were asked to do it again and I missed it. So I need to make sure I have that turned on, and I may even get on that chat and initiate the conversation this year and be like, hey, I know it's early. But I'd like to do it again this year. See if I can get a better time slot too.
You've never ever done
because I think last year I had 2 videos, and I think both of them went up at one went up at 1 a.m. my time, the other one went up at 2 a.m. Not that I have a problem with that, but there's a lot of people out here today. It is a beautiful evening. Hop up. Come on. Good boy. Good boy. Okay, let's go. Good boy. Yeah, not that I have a problem with that. I was just trying to be awake so I could be in the chat for my own premiere, and I was able to do the one at 1 a.m., but then the next night, the 2 a.m. one, I slept right through my alarm. So it would be nice to have a time where it's a little bit more reasonable for me to be awake. And the reason they do that, so that way no matter where you are in the world or how late you're up, you've got some content to keep you company during the Christmas holiday, so it's all good. But if I got to be picky, I would prefer to do something like midnight or earlier, so I can get to bed. But we're just coming up here on the city hall, and according to my little ballot slip, they should have a ballot box. This is where I voted last time in 2020, so I'm assuming it'll be here. Let's find out. So yeah, I think I need to get on that Christmas premieres chat and be like, hey, I'm not trying to rush anyone, but oh wait, is it this way? There's the City Hall Annex. It's gotta be here. Yeah, not trying to rush anyone, but I just want to put my name in the hat that I am interested this year again, so that maybe I can sign up a little bit earlier and get a earlier time slot if possible. I think it also is like what I don't know, but it might be one of those things where it's like the biggest and best content creators get the ideal spots. I don't think it's like that. I think it's really first come first serve. But I'm like, I wonder if I get in super early and they're like, Anthony, Rachel Ray gets first dibs. But we'll see. We'll see. This way, buddy. I know. That scroll's got you excited. I know. Okay. So yeah. But other than that and Mookamania, I don't have any other specific content plans. I have 3 unboxings that'll be coming up over the next few weeks for that from the Diamond Art Club order that I placed. Jasper C, The Heaven Beneath, and Plague Doctor. So I have all those filmed already. They just need to be edited and scheduled, but those are ready to go. And then I still need to get up Wizard Spell. It's always on my list, and I always don't do it. I need to do it. Okay. City of Golden. This is it, right? Certainly can't just drop it in the regular mailbox. Let's see. Maybe they're not up yet. Maybe I'm too early. Apollo, let's come over here and pull over. Okay, hold on, everyone. I'm going to look this up. Sorry, everyone. So I'm at the right address. Water bills. Doesn't talk about voting. I mean, I guess I could just pop it in the regular mailbox, but they had a specific voting box at right where I was standing last time. And I just looked at the website and it said the voting boxes will be open starting Friday, October 11th, which was yesterday. So it should be here. Now I'm getting all riled up. Like, I know I'm at the right place. Put the boxes out. Maybe they put them out. They're going to put them out late, which is not cool. Let's see. There is another location. Oh my gosh. I don't have time to run around town. Okay. Yes, 2024 general election, Friday, October 11th. Local ballots mailed, drop boxes open. Lies. Okay, let's... Ballot locations. Find a voting site. Okay. Oh. Let's see. Okay, so that said the 12th, but then this is saying the 21st. Okay, I'm not gonna... So one option would be, if I wanted to try my luck again, there's some 2-box drop-off boxes at the Colorado School of Mines, which we've walked past before. So I could extend our walk to go over there and risk being late back at the house to meet with Scott, or I'm just gonna wait until the 21st, which is what one flyer that I just looked at said they start on the 21st. The other one said the 11th. Um, and so I'll just wait. And either I'll go to School of Mines, I'll just drive over there tomorrow, or I will wait until the 21st and try again. Yeah. Well, I just carried this freaking envelope halfway across the world for no reason. Hold on. Are you gonna wait for me? Okay. Bopping around. Okay. While I was had the camera off and I was looking at stuff on my phone, some lady walked by Apollo and she's like, "Oh my God, he's beautiful." It's like, okay, I can tell you've had a couple drinks, ma'am. What kind of dog is he? Oh my gosh, can I pet him? Oh, he's so soft. I love him. Oh, he smells good too. Like, yeah, I didn't say this, but in my head I'm like, yeah, he wears Dior. Yeah. When you have a pretty boy, you have to complete the experience. It has to be visual. He looks cute. It has to be sound-wise. He doesn't bark or doesn't yip or anything. It has to be touch. He feels very soft and luxurious, and it has to be smell. Your pretty boy dog has to smell good too, to get all the senses down. But anyway, let's go on this sidewalk. I was trying to swing by Dom's today between this and Haunted House 2, but I'm just not going to have time. It's one of the reasons why I didn't go with Scott to his friend's concert thing, because I was like, oh, I might be swinging by Dom's, but it's just, I didn't realize how long this walk would take. So I'll have just enough time to get home, shower, and change so I can go get spooked. I don't know what sort of clothes you're supposed to wear to a haunted house. Maybe something like not loose fitting so you don't catch on a skeleton finger. I don't know. I'm just gonna wear whatever. Oh man, I looked into seeing if I could film in the haunted house for vlog purposes, but I couldn't find anything on their website, and I don't want to get all the way in line and then have someone be like, oh, no GoPros, you know. So I'm not going to worry about it. I'll maybe snap some photos of the place, but I'm not going to worry about trying to bring the camera. All right, buddy, we just got to cross the street, and then we don't have to cross any more main streets. Deal? Deal.
So I want to keep up.
So we just walked by the Golden Mill, which is like a food hall. I'm sure I mentioned it before, but it is always, especially on the weekends in good weather, it is packed to the gills in there every single time. And it always stresses me out being in there because you're just like constantly just bumping up against people and fight, because it's all open seating, fighting for a spot to sit. And they do let dogs in, which is a plus, but there's always so many dogs in there, which is a minus, because then Apollo doesn't sit still. He's always like darting his head around and, what's this dog? I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna try to pull enough to get an inch closer to the dog sitting at the table next to us, and it's always a fuss. And so I tend to not like to go in there, even though their food is fairly decent, because they've got like sushi, Mexican, barbecue, a chicken shack, and an ice cream thing. And it's one of those situations where they give you like a little card, and to get beer, wine, and drinks, you tap your little card on the tap, like the beer tap or whatever, and then you just get charged by the ounce, and then you turn in your little card at the end, and then they charge you based off of all the stuff you tapped and scanned and swiped. And that's how you pay for your food too. So it's pretty easy to spend a decent amount of money there, because you're paying by the fluid ounce for your beer. So if you're not paying attention, it adds up, especially if you have like, I think like one time I went there and I got a beer, and it was a $10 beer because it was just like a fancier beer, and I poured myself like a full glass of it, and I was like, oh geez, that is an expensive beer. And they have like cocktails as well, like you can do margaritas on tap, and those are really pricey. You go to pour yourself a margarita, and it's like, well, that was a $14 margarita. So you just have to be cognizant of how much you're pouring yourself, and realize how much is an appropriate amount to pour yourself. I think they have a cutoff per card. Like, I think you can only pour like, I think it was like 40 ounces of beer in one go, which is more than enough for most people. But yeah, so anyway, it's just always so busy. But they have some nice things, like they have free dog treats. They have they'll have like 5-gallon jugs outside on the patio, and with these to-go cups next to it, they're like bowls, and they're compostable individual dog bowls, so you can bring like one little dog bowl over to your dog, which is, I love little things like that, but it's just too crowded. Too many people. So yeah, but it is a cool place for sure. They're apparently where that construction is. We walked through it on our last vlog. They're responding to your comments when we walked under that scaffolding. They're redoing this whole like block of buildings, and they're gonna put another kind of open air kind of food hall, commercial zone there with like shops and restaurants and this and that. So Golden's just getting more and more commercialized every year. But so in certain respects I don't mind it, but just the summers here it's a tourist town, so the summers here are just soaked with humans. And so that's why I'm ready for winter. I'm ready for all these people to not want to visit want to visit, not want to come into town. The kids from mines go home for winter break, which means their parents aren't flying in. It's just so much quieter. Apollo. It's so much quieter here during the cold season, and I'm ready for it. There's times where I go into Golden Mill in the winter, and it'd be like me and like 5 other people. And right now it's got hundreds of people. So I get it. They make their money seasonally in this type of town. So get it while the people are here, but I like when it's locals only for part of the year. Come on, Mr. Sniffy. Are you Mr. Sniffy today? You're lucky you're pretty. Yeah, you're lucky you're pretty. Yeah. Um, Something else that is on my list to get for Apollo is a new harness. I've been noticing he's had that since I got him, and I've complained about this before, but it's black, and the dye in the harness, especially if it's hot out or if he's gotten wet, it bleeds onto his fur. So after a while, he'll have this like gray line down either side of his chest and around his neck, where the color from the harness has bled off onto his fur. It washes out every time, but he just has this, he has the lines of his harness on him until I wash him. One thing I should do is probably not leave it on him, because sometimes I leave it on him, either I forget or I have never noticed this cactus before. This thing is huge. Oh, look, there's another one. That's crazy. How have I never noticed that before? Sometimes I leave it on him and then I forget and he sleeps in it. And then he's just in it all day. So I need to be more mindful right after our walks, or right after I let him out, to take it off of him so it has less of a chance of staining him. Oh, and if you have any tips, I know, who is it that has, no, I'm forgetting your name. If you're watching, I'm sure you're watching because you comment a lot. Why am I not remembering your exact name? Come on. It can't be Joanne, can it? Big White Dogs on Instagram. You know, you've sent me Christmas cards before. Why am I such a jerk? I don't remember. Brain fart. I'm getting all these names flooding into my head right now. Leanne, Joanne, who is it? If you have any tips, anybody, I'll just say anybody. Oh, yard sign. Woo, 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 woo. If you have any tips for a good white dog specific shampoo that helps with their coat and their brightness. I just ran out of shampoo for Apollo and I haven't replaced it yet. I was thinking of asking a groomer or somebody. Right now he's been using the, it's called White on White, and it's from, I'll find it. Hep up. Hep up. It's from Chris Christensen. It's called White on White Whitening Treatment Dog Shampoo. Groom like a professional. Groom like a professional. Chris Christensen. So that's what I use, but I just ran out. And it works really good. Like, I wonder if there's anything that works even better. Because he does get dingy. He plays, he rolls around in the mud and dirt and wrestles other dogs and stuff. But I like to get all the staining and stuff out of him. So that seems to work pretty well. And I got it because it was really highly rated, but maybe some of you that have had white dogs for a long time or are in some sort of professional setting with dogs might know of a better one. He's also used the white dog shampoo from Tropiclean, which seems to be a really popular brand. That one did not work as well as this Chris Christensen one. It also was kind of a slightly bluish purple hue, but this Chris Christensen one is like deep. It almost looks black, and it's supposed to neutralize like the brassy or yellow hues in white coats, and it really seems to work well. So I may already be using the good one, but if you have a better suggestion or one that's really worked for your white dogs, let me know. and it also leaves him, it's mainly the conditioner. Um, the conditioner that I use is just because I ran out of the Chris Christensen one, and I'm using one called like Vet's Formula or something's Formula, and it's not meant for white dogs. It's just like a smoothing conditioner. But usually when I take him to the dog wash, I'll shampoo him, rinse, condition him really thoroughly. Like I soak him in the conditioner and just kind of massage, and it helps to work out all the loose undercoat as well. But I'll massage his back and his legs and everything, and we do that for probably about, I'd say 10 minutes with the conditioner on, just getting out all that loose undercoat and stuff, and then I'll rinse him and blow dry. And once he has his blow dry, then oh my gosh. This dog just tried to cram itself under the fence. I just saw all this dirt go flying. Dog tried to cram itself under the fence. It's just a little guy. But once I blow dry him to pretty much like 90%, then he has a spray from Tropiclean, and they just call it like a deodorizing spray, but it's like a kind of a leave-in conditioner type situation, but it has a scent to it. I'll mist that over him and kind of pat that into his fur, and then I'll do the final blow dry to get him 100%, just to kind of get that leave-in conditioner in there. And then he's good. So that's kind of the current process. If you have any better tips for white dogs, let me know. But he does end up looking kind of blindingly white after it. But, you know, I'm always looking for like, what's the best for Apollo, you know? So yeah. And we're headed back to the house now, so I'll quickly, I guess, talk about diamond painting. So of course we have Muka Mania coming up. I've got a wizard event with Mia. As far as whips go, Kitted Up Not Started, Inner Garden by Yume Art. That poor thing just can't get any love. I also have Heaven Beneath from Yume Art kitted up now, because I'm going to try to work on that and get it done by May for Alex and MJ. So I might start working on that sooner than later. And I think that's everything I have kitted up, not started. I will be adding Wizard Spell to that soon. But yeah, as far as whips go, I have Garden of Earthly Delights, no progress. Phases, no progress. Then I have Medi, no progress since the last time we spoke, I don't think. And then I have my Custom of Apollo. Got about another section done on that since last week. And then I have Cresting by Iterations Crafts and the Creativity Squirrel. I think I've done 2 sections this week. And I think that's it, except for Patroclus from Diamond Art Emporium. So yeah, that one. So here's what ended up happening. So I did my unboxing, and I had talked a little bit about how my experience, or just my first impressions of the rendering and the colors that were picked in that rendering just seemed a little off on first blush, but of course it takes putting drills down to really know. You never know until you start working on it. So I immediately kitted that up after I did the unboxings. I did notice that the canvas had some pretty decent creases in it where the cover paper had like bunched it in manufacturing and it had been in that position for a while. So I tried to put a bunch of books on it after I kitted it up. Just put a bunch of books on the canvas and leave them overnight. It helped a little bit, but because And I did peel back the cover plastic and then try to lay it more flat, but those creases were really in there. And normally the book trick works, but it did not work super well. So I was like, well, that's that. I guess I'll just maybe keep putting books on it as I'm working on it, or just kind of deal with it. So that was the first thing I noticed before I had even put any drills down. And then I started working on it the next night, and I immediately ran into some questionable color choices, in my opinion. Or a lot of the browns. I started in the bottom left where his foot is. The brown background, that kind of like different shades of tans and browns, was rendered as 310, which, okay, fine. But as it was supposed to get lighter in brown, it turned into shades of like burgundy red and kind of like blood red. So it almost looked like his whole foot was surrounded by blood. It was really weird. It was kind of the same color as the fabric that he's laying on, these bright reds and deeper reds, which just didn't look right to me. So, my normal method when dealing with shops is, my ethos has always been, you put this product on your site for sale. This is what you knew you were selling to someone. I paid my own money for it. I wasn't giving it for free or anything like that. And so I'm free to talk about my thoughts and feelings on that product as I see fit. I don't always feel obligated to reach out to the shop and talk to them about it before I talk to you all about it. I don't know. I've always thought of that as being a little, I never want to be put in a position where a shop's like, okay, before you talk about any of the issues to your subscribers or your viewers, let me fix it. And then and then you can talk about that kit, the fixed one. Or let me just refund you. Don't even need to mention it, I just don't want to be put in an awkward position where I feel like I'm being dishonest or giving special favor to to a particular shop. What I buy is what you're going to buy. And just because I have a channel or whatever, it just seems sticky, it gets sticky. But I had already been in email communication with the shop owner, Ren, about placing the order and potentially doing a shop spotlight and this and that. We got introduced by one of our viewers. So I decided to kind of forgo that, because I was like, I don't want this to be another situation where I'm like, I threw away another kit and I'm tired. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be the diamond painting prude a-hole, that's just like trashing shops and throwing canvases away left and right. So I was like, you know what? Let me, at least similar to what I did with DIY Moon Shop, I was still transparent about my thoughts and feelings, but I did reach out to them to see if anything could be done. And they essentially told me to take a hike, and then closed down months later. The next month. So I was like, let me reach out to Ren and just explain what I'm seeing here. And so at the time I had already scheduled my unboxing of those kits to go up. So I was like, let me pull that down. Let me see what he says, and then we'll take it from there. But let me just put a pause on my whole journey with this shop until we get a chance to talk. So I put the unboxing video on as unlisted, sent him an email, because the unboxing was supposed to go up the next morning, sent him an email. And B, the other reason I wanted to take the video down is because I didn't know when he and I would connect. I didn't know if it was going to be in a week or a month or whatever, so I could talk to him about what I was seeing. So a lot of times when I put unboxings up and I'm like, oh, this is one that I'm going to get to right away so I can give you feedback, a lot of people expect or want that feedback. Like, how did it go with that kit? What was your experience? I was thinking about buying from them. What did you end up liking about it? Or are you still working on that? So I was like, let me just take the unboxing down, so that way I'm not setting myself up for a bad timeline of like I put the unboxing up and then you don't hear about it for months, even though I said I'm starting this right away, you know? So I was like, let me just pull it down. We'll figure this out. So I put it as unlisted, but it had already been scheduled on YouTube, and I thought putting it as unlisted would override that. Nope, it didn't. The video went up that morning at 7. I didn't catch it till about 8:30, and once I realized it was up, I should have just put it as unlisted. I just deleted it, which means I had to re-upload and process it again. But I was just in a panic, like, no. So I think it had like 30 or 30, 40-ish views when I pulled it. Ren responded, and we were able to talk that night. So me thinking it was going to be a month or something until we talked that evening. And I just told him, what I was seeing, what my concerns were, and he ended up running Patroclus through the rendering software again, with brightening up the image a little bit and making it a bigger size, because I think that was like my biggest thing. I was like, I think this just needs to be bigger. Not that that size is unusable. None of the stuff that I saw made this a kit that I would throw away. I still would have finished it, but would it be like up to, I guess, my some maybe high expectations because I'm a diamond painting snob, I guess? No. Similar to like how Jade will put a kit up and she puts it up at a bunch of different sizes, knowing that not everyone's going to want to do 110 by 130. She puts a bunch of different sizes up, gives you the option with the caveat, I think it even says on the site that smaller sizes, or the bigger the size, the more detail. So knowing that, and then she usually puts in parentheses like this is the recommended size, like this is the happy middle ground between not too big and not too small. And so I kind of talked to Ren about that. I'm like, this size isn't really a problem for the most part, even though these color choices aren't 100% accurate to the original image. I could still see that I was getting like a really good detail, or a decent detail of the foot and stuff. Like it would have come together just, I think, okay. But would I prefer something with more color detail and a bigger size? Yes, but that's personal. So I don't think they're unsellable or anything like that. I just think, me personally, I want something that is as close to the original in terms of color and detail as I can get. So he was willing to bump up the size for me, and I think he bumped it up to like a 70 by maybe it was like a 60 by 80 or something like that. Bumped up the size, brightened up the image a little bit in hopes that we can get some more clarity out of the compared to the original, or out of the rendering. And then he showed me the rendering, what it would look like on his computer. I'm like, oh, that is so much better than, in my opinion, so much more what I was expecting to see. So he was like, okay. And so we kind of talked it through, and I felt a little big-headed to have like a Zoom call, video call with a shop owner to like talk about what I'm seeing versus what I expect to see. Like, who am I to say, in terms of like, I wasn't expecting him to like pull all your stock and completely redo it or discount these kits. Like, no. Like, this is just me being hyper picky and all that stuff. But I appreciate that he was open to the conversation. He didn't make me feel like I was being a jerk and a diamond painting snob by having that conversation. Like, I walked into that preparing for him to be like, why are you wasting my time with this? You didn't like it, I'll give you a refund and go pound sand, like that's kind of, I had my guard up, but he was very welcoming of the conversation, and I didn't get those vibes, which was really nice. And I didn't expect him to provide any excuses either of like, oh, we're this, or I decided because, I'm like, I'm just telling you what I saw. I'm not asking you to change anything. I'm not asking you to do anything. I just wanted to tell you before I post a video about why I'm not 100% happy with this project, you know? Because I don't like, again, I don't like being that person. I don't look forward to sharing my like not so great experiences, you know? It's not fun. So, wow, this Tacoma is either parked on the curb or is broken. Oh, it's parked on the curb. So he offered to re-render and get that sent out to the manufacturer and send me a replacement at the bigger size. I did not ask for that directly. He just said that this is what he would do for a customer to make it right. Like, I'm not getting any sort of special treatment or anything like that. It's what he would do if someone was having an issue. And I was like, okay, just want to make sure that you're not going above and beyond or doing anything, you know, that you wouldn't normally do. And if you want me to pay a portion or all of that for the replacement, I would have been more than happy to do that too, you know. But he said that he wanted to make it right. So he's like, let me get this ordered, get it printed, get it back from the manufacturer, and I'll send it to you. And then we can take it from there. And I was like, okay. I was like, well, if that's the case, then there wasn't anything in that unboxing that I think would warrant me holding off on posting it, because I still got what I got, you know, and I still think it's fair, you know, appropriate to share that feedback with my fam, you know. And he was like, no, I agree. And so I ended up reposting it that next day, reprocessing it and getting it live. And then what I'll do is I'll most likely, so here's the conundrum, here's the thing I'm hung up on, because I'm not going to continue working on the smaller one because of getting this edited one sent. I'm going to hold off on it until the new one comes in, just so I can kind of compare and contrast just privately. But I don't think there's any need to put up a video saying, oh, after Ren re-rendered it and here's the differences, and oh wow, like, it is what it is. I think what I might do is just do a secondary unboxing of that new Patroclus and just call it like an update and just, you know, reiterate, here's some of the things that I saw with the rendering on the unboxing. And I actually got the opportunity to chat with the shop owner, and he made some fine tunes and some edits and was willing to send it to me at a bigger size, because I'm crazy like that and always want the bigger size. I don't know if he'll put that larger size in the shop or if this is just a one-off. I don't know. But then I can just say, based off the conversation that I had and the great customer experience that I had, I was able to get this version sent to me, and let's take a look. And then I can do that kind of follow-up unboxing, show the differences, improvements, whatever, and let that be that. I did get a chance to utilize the drills. Obviously, I did 2 sections of that kit, and they're fine. They are resin. I'd say, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, as far as drill quality for me goes, I would put them at a 5.5. There, certain colors were just fine. No real issues. But other colors, I think the more mass-produced colors like 310, just weren't as they didn't fit together as cleanly as something like a Diamond Art Club. Obviously, you know, they're kind of cream of the crop. But even other shops that I've used, pretty much any other shop that I've used square resins from, Jade Gem Shop, Diamond Painting Shop, Creativity Squirrel's drills in particular are incredible. I can't wait to talk more about them when I'm done with cresting. But they just had not necessarily tabs, but the sides of them, on all 4 sides, some of them just had a little roughness to them. Like, I don't know, it almost made it so there was just like the tiniest bit of gapping when you place, just kind of by nature of the drill. Like, not any one specific drill was super tabby, but they all just had like just a little bit of extra something on the sides that didn't let them click together perfectly. Now, Did I have a major issue? No, not at all. They're still fine to use. They just weren't, they just weren't as top notch as I've seen elsewhere in terms of resin square drills. For a minute there, I was like, these have to be acrylic, but they're not. He confirmed with me, and they do have the dimples on the bottom, which are telltale of resin, but they're just not. They just weren't as nice, I guess, as some other shops' resin squares. And it really stood out in the 310, which, that version of Patroclus was like a ton of 310. So I was like, okay, well, I might have to fuss with these a little bit. But what I did like is there weren't any popping drills. I checked, the next day, a couple days after I finished. I should go back and check now that it's been a few days. But the next day, didn't notice anything. But they were the kind of drills that made me, just by what I was seeing in the tray, I was worried about that, if that makes any sense. They just kind of, it's like, oh, I don't know, but they were fine, they just weren't as polished as some other 310s I've used. Most of the other colors were fine, but yeah, so, however, symbols, very easy to read. Adhesive, very, very sticky, very, very nice. The canvas material itself, very nice, except, the creasing that I talked about. But had it not had that, also very nice. So the drills, I think, could be bumped up in terms of quality a little bit, but not unusable. Once again, nothing about that kit was unusable. It was just, I know what the original image looked like, and it just wasn't close enough. The kit wasn't close enough for my taste in terms of size, detail, and color selection. So I would never discourage anyone from shopping there at all, even that exact kit. You just need to know that at that size, it's a tall order to get that right. And so I'm looking forward to working on Abstract, which is from his first run, and I won't be able to judge that canvas at all against his current offerings because it's from an old manufacturer, I guess. So I'll just talk about what it is for what it is, but it won't be a direct reflection on the products that he currently sends out, like newer images and stuff. So I will start on that, and I will start on Patroclus once that comes in, but I won't feel obligated to give you a quick, immediate reaction to it, because I already put a little bit of time into the old version, and now you kind of know what I've seen. You know what I've seen in terms of color rendering, drill quality, all that stuff. So I'm not going to be jumping right into that and spending a ton of time with it. I'd really like to focus on my other whips that I have going right now. But once that new version comes in, I'll probably kit down the old Patroclus after I just take a personal look at the difference between the two. I'll kit down that old Patroclus and get rid of that canvas because it's getting replaced. So just keep that in mind. I won't be coming back to that specific one, but somewhere along the line, you'll most likely see me working on the new version. But I will do an updated unboxing with the new version, tell that story, in the unboxing, and take a look at the new version. And then you can kind of, make your own decisions or whatever. Just take that as another data point. But I still think it's a fine shop to shop from. I love the fact that he was willing and able to make some adjustments for me, and that was not from him, not a special circumstance. He strives to make sure that his customers are happy, and he even said, I'd much rather you tell me than me see a video of you throwing away Patroclus and all of your qualms about it. He was like, my reaction would have been, why didn't you tell me? I would have fixed it. So I will take that to heart going forward. And anytime I work with a new shop or any shop that I have bigger issues with, I will make sure that I reach out to them. It won't change the content that I put up. I'm still going to be honest, but reach out to them and talk to them about it and get over my feelings of, in my head, I'm like, I don't want to do that because I don't want a shop owner to feel like they're put in a position where they have to do something special for me because I have a YouTube channel, you know? So I'd rather just keep quiet and just speak my truth and let that be that. But when that's to the detriment of shops that are willing to do something and would have liked to do something in favor of just seeing that bad video, negative video, you know? So changing my attitude, I will always reach out to shops now beforehand, whether or not it's comfy for me, and at least put it out there. And if they tell me to go kick rocks, then I know, then I will. Or maybe it'll open their eyes to something, or they'll be able to kind of flex their customer service muscles and show that they are willing to fix those. But it's just because I've been burned in the past too with like Diamond, what was it, DIY Moon Shop, and Uniquely Yours Down Under. Both of those shops just were terrible to work with, and so I kind of just, for a while there, I've just been like, you know what? I'm not going to tell anybody anything. If you sent me a product I'm not happy with, then I'm going to talk about the product that you sent me that I'm not happy with, But I should at least give them a chance. So anyway, well, we've been just standing in front of the house. So I'm going to let you go, but don't forget to like, subscribe, share this content with friends, family members, anyone that you think might take some value out of it. Happy placing. We'll see you next time. Bye. Bye. Say bye. Say bye, little baby. Oh, okay.
Let it flow down.